All right, this is a message to the landless farmers and the young and new farmers that are doing work. We know very few farmers or farming organizations that have gone through so many or as many land use agreements as we have. We've typically had to start a farm every 2 years since 2014, since Grow Where You Are came into existence. And that has meant we've partnered with churches, with private landowners, with schools, with other organizations. So here's some key things to look for if you're a landless farmer or a young farmer, because we know young farmers who have agricultural educations, and we know young farmers who've been learning on-the-job training, as it was. So, number one, when you come into an agreement with another landowner, and this landowner seems excited about working with you or you potentially working on their land, there's a couple things to look for. Number one, look for how long they've owned the land and what they've done to make that land productive in that time period. Because right now we're on a piece of property where we had an agreement, and one of the members out of 4 of us in the agreement decided they want the agreement to stop. And their garden right now has very little growing in it. So you want to look at the people prior to that who own the land and see what they have done to make that land productive before entering in an agreement with you. If they have a social media presence, check out their social media. Is their social media full of pictures of themselves? Or does it show years of work that they've been doing on that land that they claim to value so much? The next thing is, if they value the land, are they asking for you to pay a straight up lease? Or are they wanting to enter into a partnership with you? Which one's more advantageous for you? We prefer paying a straight lease, because once you get into partnership with a group or an individual, you got to weigh what they're bringing to the agreement. Do they bring skills? Do they bring financial investment? Or do they only bring the land? And if they want suddenly you to value that land at a particular level, which lets them into partnership, then again, how valuable was that land to them before you came around? Were they making money off the land before you or not? Were they planting up the land before you or not? Were they eating from the land before you or not? The next thing to do is to keep in mind how long you want this organization, this agreement to last. Because things can change on a dime. An MOU is not enough. A memorandum of understanding is not enough. You need a signed agreement, signed and dated. This is what a piece of property that you all have been seeing us work on since March. This is what it looks like when you know you got to leave in January. They say you reap what you sow. What that means is make sure that you reap what you sow. We put greens in the ground, roots in the ground, carrots in the ground, and then we found out we had to leave. So we never installed our grow tunnel that we spent $3,000 on, because one of the members decided, we want all the land. I want all the land. When you want all the land and yet the area that you've sectioned off for yourself to manage doesn't have food in it now, well, you sure can't start planting in December. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you for your support. We just want to be full disclosure, transparent with you about what we're going through, and hopefully help you to avoid these situations, and then prime all of us to become landowners. Those of us who love the soil, who put in the work, let us all become landowners. Stay tuned for more information like this. Young farmers, new farmers, landless farmers, we're in solidarity. And those of you who own land, if it's not productive for you now, if you've been on a piece of land for 10 years, 5 years, and you never started a farming business, sometimes you think it's easy when you see professionals come through. It's not easy no matter what. But we can work together and have abundance. We're going to have to. Grow where you are.